Welcome to this week's Movie Math, where a baseball pick scored a rare home run at the box office. Yes, 42 posted the biggest debut for a baseball movie ever, and odds are good that it can outperform the biggest grossing baseball movie of all time, A League of Their Own. This must make Jackie Robinson's widow Rachel proud, as she's been trying to get this movie made for decades. Initially hoping that Sidney Poitier would play her husband, then Denzel Washington, and ended up with unknown actor Chadwick Boseman. But while his uniform might have said 42, posting a #1 debut like this means Boseman is no longer an unknown. I wonder how long it will take Marvel or some other comic book movie franchise to snap him up. Speaking of franchises, 42 is a win for Star Wars as well, as the film's success proves Harrison Ford still has some fight left in him. Outside of Indiana Jones 4, the aging star hasn't had a hit since 2000's What Lies Beneath. Will Ender's Game later this year make him 2 for 2? But also of note is that once again Legendary Pictures has come to Warner Brothers' rescue, giving the studio their first hit of the year. Legendary is the company behind Warner Brothers' Nolanverse, including Inception, as well as Todd Phillips' Hangover soon-to-be trilogy, and Guillermo del Toro's upcoming Pacific Rim. In fact, rumor has it that the studio might bring Legendary Pictures founder Thomas Tull in-house. And Warner Brothers has already done some house cleaning, just recently replacing CEO Barry Meyer with Kevin Tsujihara, who handled their Six Flags theme parks prior to becoming president of home entertainment. Tsujihara was a surprise pick to industry insiders. He started out distributing eggs in San Francisco, and he's the first Asian American CEO of a Hollywood studio. Let's hope he doesn't just represent change, but is an agent of change as well. Come on, Justice League movie. In distant second place was the other new release of the weekend, Scary Movie 5. Dimension Films had been hoping to resurrect the franchise after a 7-year hiatus, but instead ended up with the lowest debut for the series yet. Then again, the studio can't be too surprised considering they swapped out Scary Movie staples Anna Faris and Regina Hall with tabloid fodder Lindsay Lohan and Charlie Sheen. Oddly, with Ashley Tisdale appearing in this bomb and Zac Efron treading water in the indie circuit, who'd have guessed Vanessa Hudgens would be the most successful High School Musical alum? What a horrible lesson for impressionable young fans. At least James Franco made some interesting character choices. As for the rest of the box office, The Croods continued to show an impressive hold with a drop in the mid-30s, and even Evil Dead held pretty well with a drop around 60%. As I noted last week, similar horror updates have dropped around 70% in their second weekends. And The Place Beyond the Pines expanded its theater count once again, this time breaking into the top 10 and boasting the second biggest per theater average in the group. Considering the flick is getting lukewarm reviews, this indicates that perhaps Ryan Gosling has some box office juice in him after all. Could he be picking a worse time to go on an acting hiatus? Maybe if we all go see Only God Forgives in July, he'll reconsider. As for this coming weekend, Oblivion hits a frame as desolate as the earth Tom Cruise looks after as Friday's sole release. And Hollywood expects theaters to be somewhat empty as well, projecting an opening of just 35 million. And while there's only one movie opening this coming weekend, if you're in the tri-state area, I hope you'll consider coming out to Spill.com's first panel in New York City, hosted by Corey. I'll be one of the speakers, along with MTV Geek's Alex Zalbin, Slash Films Devendra Hardawar, and radio host Harris Smith. It's this Saturday, April 20th from 4 to 6 p.m. at Fontana's, located in downtown Manhattan, 105 Eldridge Street. Tickets are $10 at the door, and I've put a link with more info in the video description. And that's the weekend box office. I'm Grace Randolph, and we just did some movie math. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you'll go beyond the trailer for these other top movies.